So till now we have discussed how do you write procedure and how do you call that stored procedure in API, and how do you write the SALT queries, how do you write the MongoDB queries in APIs. Okay, these are the possible cases which you will get in real time. Okay, so I have discussed almost all the possible cases which you are going to face the some scenarios in your while doing the program. Okay, so if anything is there, you just let me know and I will discuss that particular scenario also in this training session. Now I am going to discuss about file systems. Okay, so actually file system, that means there is an NPM called FS. Okay, file system. Okay, so this NPM is allowed to work with the file systems on your computer. Like, so we have number of files like file types, documents, MS Word document, and text files. Okay, so to read the data from that files, so how do you read that data? How do you create that file? How do you read that data and how do you update the file, and how do you delete the data into the file? How do you rename that file? So all the topics we'll discuss in this training session. Okay, actually to do this, these are the main operations. So to do these operations, we have two approaches. One is synchronous approach and another one is asynchronous approach. Okay, so synchronous, actually Node.js is asynchronous approach. I mean non-blocking functions. So what is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous approach means? Synchronous means blocking functions. That means if you are going to execute number of operations, and if you use synchronous approach, it will execute one by one. Okay, one after another. Asynchronous means it will not block, so it is non-blocking. So it will execute all the operations and it will produce the result. Like I will take one example. I have 4 operations. Okay, if you use synchronous approach to execute these 4 operations, first operation will be executed until it gets the result. Remaining all operations has to be waited. That means block state. After execution of this first operation, then only it will go to the second operation. After execution of the second operation, then only it will go to the third operation. Okay, so assume like this will take 2 seconds and 2 seconds, like that. Okay, so total how much time you will require to complete this task? 5 into 2, 10 seconds. Okay, if you use synchronous approach. So if you use asynchronous approach, all the operations will be executed, and which operation will produce the result first, that operation will be produces the result. Okay, so that is non-blocking. So here synchronous means blocking. So asynchronous is non-blocking functions. It never waits for each operation to be completed. Okay, it will execute all operations in the first itself. Okay, so the result of each operation will be handled once the result is available in asynchronous approach. And so which operation is best means in Node.js, it is a single threaded approach, so asynchronous approach is better. When you go for synchronous approach means if you are not handling with large DB operations, then you can go for synchronous approach. Okay, but whenever you are handling with large databases and whatever you have written the query, that query returns huge amount of data, then my suggestion is you don't go for synchronous approach. Why? Because of that query only, it will halt the remaining operations. Okay, so remaining operations will be blocked state. So it is not a good approach to go for synchronous approach. So Node.js, it is a single threaded approach. So better to go for asynchronous approach. Okay, so and one more thing, if you are using different methods like open, write file, append file, read file. Okay, one file is synchronous, another file is asynchronous. Which method will be executed first means synchronous method will be executed first. Then only it will come to the asynchronous approach. Okay, that thing I will show the practical example also. Don't worry. Now we will go one by one in file methods. This is our API solution. Here I am going to show this example on app.ts file itself. So for this file system, this port listening and MongoDB connection, all these are not required. Okay, so here I am going to import FS module from FS, and before that we need to install FS npm. So go to the package.json and see here. So FS is there. Okay, now we can use this FS module. And first method, open, write file, append file, read file. Okay, so we'll discuss one by one. So here one more thing is, by creating a file, it has three approaches. One is open method, and another one is write file method, and next one is append file method. Okay, so these are the three approaches, three methods to create the file. Okay, so that means suppose if you are going to open the file, if that file name does not exist, it will automatically create that file name and it will open that file. Okay, that is open method. And write file means if you are going to write something in a file, but that file name does not exist, in that time also it will create that file and it will write something. Like that append file also. Okay, so here fs.open. So first I am going to discuss asynchronous method. My file dot document, and here I am going to write something. That's why I have put W. Okay, so flag. Suppose if you want to read, then you can write R. Okay, and callback function. If error came, then I want to display that error name Yara dot message, else console dot log. File is opened. So I'm going to execute this. See here. So my file dot doc, it is created, and it will be open, and whatever you want you can write it. Okay, so this is open method, and minimize all these things. Yeah, and this is asynchronous approach. So I am going to create a file by using synchronous approach, that is fs.opensync, and here file name like my file dot txt, and w. So execute it. Here .txt file I am going to create it. See this. Okay, and here how do I know this status? That means let is opened equal to if is opened, then console dot we can write this file is opened synchronously, else file is not opened. Okay, so here I'm going to give another file name 1, and if you want to see the value of is opened, then you can write in console.log. We'll see what will be that value. See, so this is, it is returning something. Okay, so if it is value any value is there, so w3 means that indicates the right. So if any value is there in is open flag, then file it will return file is opened synchronously. Okay, so there is no value in is open, then it is not opened. Okay, so here I am going to execute open method in asynchronous approach and synchronous approach. Okay, so observe this here. First synchronous will be executed. As I said, first synchronous approach will be executed. After that, asynchronous approach. File is opened means this statement belongs to asynchronous approach. Okay, so whenever you are going to use both approaches. So here synchronous approach will be executed first, next asynchronous approach. Next, write file. So write file means it is used to write the specified content in the file. Suppose if the content already exists, then it will replaces that specified content. If the file does not exist, it will create a new file. Okay, new file, and it will write it also. So here fs dot write file my file. So I am going to delete this one. So my file dot doc, and and I am writing something here, asynchronous. I'm going to write the data of asynchronous. Okay. Wait. This is asynchronous approach, and here error. If error comes, then console.log error.message, and else console.log return successfully. See, here file is not there. See, my file.document, it will be created, and whatever we have given the data, that will be written into this file. Okay, and you can write the synchronous approach also. So fs.write file sync. So same. So in synchronous approach, there is no error callback. So here I am going to give my file one.doc. Oh, sorry, here. See, this is asynchronous approach. Okay, earlier I have given asynchronous approach. That's why it is saved as this is asynchronous approach. Okay, and another method is append. Okay, so append file. So here I am giving appending method is executed. And here append file sync. Okay, and I am going to delete these two files. Okay, so there are no files. My file.doc appending method is executed. Okay, if I executed again, see, appending method is executed for second time, and okay, in both files appending method is executed sentence will be repeated for twice. And next, read file. So read file means it is used to read files, read the data from file. So just read file, and I am going to give the file name, and if error comes, then it will go to this block. Otherwise, here give this data, and I am going to display that data which exists in this file name, and here read file sync. Yes, read file sync is there. And let data equal to this one, and write the console.log See, okay, that means data is retrieved in the form of binary form. So convert into string, and here dot to string, and here my file1 dot doc appending method is executed. It is only one time, and my file1 it is in 2 times. Okay, so execute it. Sorry. See, my file1 dot doc means that is synchronous method. So observe this, synchronous method will be executed first, and so it is coming for twice means that is my file dot doc. So that is for asynchronous approach. Okay, so it is coming for twice. So it is coming, it will be executed after the execution of synchronous method. And next one, rename. So how do you rename the file? So rename here, syntax will be there, old name, new name, callback. So I want to give the new name, my file dot rename file doc, and so here rename success, and here I am going to rename the file by using synchronous approach, and rename file async dot doc. Okay, so my file dot doc means appending method is executed, it will have for 2 times. Okay, so rename file, so 2 times, and rename file async it is only 1 time. Okay, so file names are changed. And next, truncate. Truncate means deleting the data in the file. Truncate. Truncate sync. So here rename file dot doc is the our required file, and truncate success. So here execute it. So see, data is deleted. Okay, next, exist. So exist method means it is used to test whether the given path that will exist or not. Okay, so exist and exist sync. Yes. And here exist. So whether these file names exist or not, it will check. True. True means it will exist. Rename file. So okay. So exist, rename exist. Yes. So here syntax is, if it is exist, then this is not error callback. So if it is exist, then it will go to this block. So file name exist, else file name does not exist. So here also let exist equal to, and you can write this same logic. And this is asynchronous, no? So async. Oh, sorry. This is a synchronous. So synchronous. So if I give invalid file name, then what will happen? Check it. See, for synchronous file name does not exist. For asynchronous file name exists. Okay. And next, access. So this is actually, we can use this access method for this. Access. So exist, that is overridden, that means that might be duplicated. So you can use access method instead of exist. Unlink. So unlink, and unlink, yes, unlink synchronous. So I'm going to delete the files. Okay, so that's why we can, for that we can use unlink. So unlink means it will delete the specified file. So file name. So unlink file error. So error callback. So error. Then you can display error dot message. Otherwise, file name file deleted. See, all these two files are deleted. Okay, and so already 6:30. Okay.